Well, hello. Hello and welcome to another episode of Perfectly Twisted. I'm Nicole Eggert and this is Dave Palais with me here.
Good to see you. Thanksgiving go okay?
Yeah, Thanksgiving was great. Mellow. I didn't cook. That was a first. Yep, that was a first. That was what an easy day it made.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Did you miss not cooking? Like it didn't feel the same, or was it one of those, thank goodness I'm not cooking?
Well, I made my stuffing that my kids love so much. So as long as we have that, it still sort of feels like my meal because
Gotcha.
my stuffing is a little standalone from the typical. So it sort of gives that homey vibe. So no, I didn't miss cooking at all, really.
Good deal. Good
Yeah.
deal.
Didn't
Well,
have all the leftovers, which is fine because I'm still trying to lose this chemo weight. So it all worked out.
Good. It's funny. The holidays obviously can be very stressful for a lot of people, whether it's traveling or seeing family, or as you and I spoke about, running into people that maybe you're sitting at the table with that politically see things different than you, that you worry, oh no, is something bad going to happen? There was really nothing bad on my end. Like there were no issues. There were a lot of times I was sitting there very frustrated with people around me thinking I know the way they voted and the way they think, and that bothered me. But it didn't come out. I kept my mouth shut. They kept their mouth shut, and everything kind of went smooth, better than I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, because you had like 200 people over at your house, right?
Yeah. And every boy that walked into my house under the age of 11, which are a bunch of them, all walked in with the baseball bats and their own ball. And I'm like, my house is not built for that anymore. And I was like, there was stuff everywhere. There's everywhere. Just little kids running around everywhere. It was a lot.
Well,
but it's over.
Yeah. It's over. So I start radiation today. I officially start.
Wow.
I did a run through yesterday. And so it all seems to look good. And so I start that today. And
do you feel by any chance you like battle tested? Like I think a lot of people when you say I'm starting radiation, there'd be nerves, which would be normal. But you've been through a lot in the last year. Like, do you feel like, hey, you know what? I've been through a lot. There's nothing's going to phase me at this point.
Well, sort of until I get in the machines. And I kid you not, every time I get in one of these machines, I cry. Like just not like sobbing. It's just like tears just start rolling. I'm highly claustrophobic. So that plays a big part of it, but my technician yesterday, my radiation technician guy, he's also claustrophobic, so he was super cool. He was like blasting music for me, and it made it feel better that he knew what I was going through, and so he understood. So that was like, that always helps.
It does help. It does help. Did you pick out your music already, what you're going to listen to?
No, what he put on was fine. I was good. It's not that long, but just anything is better than silence or like the the machine. It's like Jesus. So I'm all marked up. They tattooed me, and then they also do markers with like tape over it. It's a to-do. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it is.
So so that journey begins.
All right. Well, good luck on that again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Really good times. So we have a really fun guest today because, and I love guests like this because there is a very small number of people that understand the way I grew up. Do you know what I mean? That also grew up the same way.
Yeah. Walk in your shoes.
Yes. Yeah. Very few. So I love getting together with people that understand. And then also she's still working in this industry. So that's another one, like to make the pivot from childhood to adult and all this. We understand each other, the crazy of it all. And, it's like meeting up with summer camp friends, and like only you guys knew the experience you had at that summer camp. Yeah. It's like that. But, not only is she gorgeous, she's beautiful, but she was a childhood working actress all the time. She was even on Charles in Charge, and she made the pivot into voice work. I'll let her tell it, but I know she did like Cameron Diaz's voice when she was Princess Fiona and Shrek. She's
Cool.
done Drew Barrymore's voice, Kate Bosworth, Leslie Mann, Brittany Murphy, Paula Abdul, Gwen Stefani, Britney Spears.
Wow.
Like, come on, legend. So without further ado, let me introduce Miss Holly Fields.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Good morning.
Good
It looks
morning.
sunny where you are.
It is sunny. It's blue sky and beautiful. I love
Oh.
Ojai.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and it was rainy here. We had a rainy.
Where are you?
I'm in
You're in LA.
Burbank. I'm like
you're in
Burbank,
Burbank.
Toluca Lake border, like right there.
I love it there.
That's all right.
Grass is always greener. I love it there.
Yeah. The grass is always greener. So, okay. So you started in the industry super young too, right?
Yes. I was like, I auditioned for a play with Molly Ringwald and my brother and sister, and we all auditioned. We're all friends when we were kids with Molly and her sister, Beth and Kelly, her brother. And I was too young. I was like 5. And so that's when I started. They ended up putting me in the play anyway because my brother and sister got in. So they put me in the understudy as Molly Ringwald's understudy for the Dormouse and Through the Looking Glass. And that's how that all started. And I got up on stage because Molly couldn't do it the last performance. So I got up on stage and I fell in love with it. I knew I wanted to do theater.
Yeah, because you started on Broadway, right? Like that's where you.
Yeah, I started in national tours all around the United States. I was a little kid, and my parents came, and my brother and sister did it too. And then we moved to Texas when I was 8, and Molly's dad got me an agent, helped us get an agent there. He was really helpful for us. And I got into commercials and just fell in. And in Texas, and you're a kid, you don't have much competition. So I just started working like crazy as a kid, doing, modeling for catalogs and commercials. And I did my first album at age 7, singing, and I got lucky.
How did you do an album at age 7 years old? Explain that one to me.
It was a Christmas album for Neiman Marcus, and everyone just auditioned, and I sing, so I got the part. And yeah,
I love that.
It's been a journey. And then I came out to LA when I was 13 just for pilot season, and I got really lucky. I got MacGyver, and I got this TV show called Hard Copy.
Yeah.
Remember Dolores Jacoby?
Yeah.
She was saying to my mom, because my mom got in touch with her when I was back in Texas, and she said, "Don't come. She'll never work, and there's tons of, And I got here, and it was down between me and Laura for the part, and I got it. So I was out to prove myself.
And so for anybody who doesn't know, Laura is her daughter.
And she's amazing, amazing actress.
Yeah.
So that felt good just to, I think I was more right for the part, though. You know how that goes.
Yeah. Well, the industry was so different then. I mean,
it was so different. We were lucky. I mean, you would go to the post office building at Universal Studios, get your sides, and then go when you actually met in person.
Yeah.
And then you would see all the same people. It was always like, Christy, you were doing shows, so you were always booked. But I'd always see Christy Swanson and Krista Denton and like all the same group. And we were all friends. We all got along really well. It wasn't like people would think. We all liked each other.
I know. I try to explain that to people, and they look at me a little sideways. I'm like, no, it was crazy because you all go on this audition. Everybody's in competition, but then you all go to dinner afterwards, or like you go to a party, or like all hang out.
Yeah, we all really got along, and people have a hard time believing that because we were actresses too and actors, but we did, thankfully, because that's the way it should be. We should, there's so many parts. There's enough parts for all of us, and we all worked. So
it's true. One of us would always book it. It would be someone. It would, and if you didn't get this one, you were getting the next one.
Exactly.
And it was so different then. And we used to go. I remember when Alyssa was on, Dave, we talked about this, to the Alfie soda pop parties. Holly would be at those as well. We were talking about how our parents would just drop us off at these parties, which years later come to find out that like bad things were going on at these parties.
Were they? Because my mom would come and she would sit out in the if it was like the Roosevelt or something, she would sit in the lobby with all the other moms that would show up too. And I was like 14, so she would just, and I lived in Agora, so she would come and stay and hang out. And I don't remember anything bad going on, but I am so like Mr. Magoo. something bad could be going on right there, and I just wouldn't see it because I'm all in my own world. But
yeah, well, I think I didn't see anything bad going on either, and it was sort of like I think it was mostly with the boys, and and it was sort of like this is where the evil men would meet the boys, and then things would happen like outside of the club, like they would outside of the soda pop.
after the after party.
Yeah. So yes, because Corey's would tell me, both of them would tell me about
Yep.
the shenanigans, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, we're all just dancing.
Having the best time. I know.
Having a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, Corey did tell me about one thing, and this is a long time. I mean, back that long time ago. And yeah, I don't want to repeat it on here, but I'll tell you later. But yeah,
yeah,
those days.
So
but that was happening in all aspects, all businesses. Like the priests were doing that to the boys, and
right.
you know, it's a yeah.
Well, it's
I
like
moved to Ojai.
Yeah,
to get away from all that.
Smart. How long have you been out there?
I bought the house in 2010, but I was living in Woodland Hills, and I finally, during COVID, I moved here. So it's a ranch. I got orchards. It's too much to take care of, but I love it.
Now, when you moved out there, did you know people out there already? Did you move out there by yourself? Like, this all seems so brave. I need to know.
No, it's not brave. It's stupid. I was engaged to this guy, and I thought I was going to marry him, and we were together for 10 years. I bought the house, and then we broke up. And I was like, what did I do? And so I moved to buy a house in Woodland Hills with my dad. And then COVID came. I rented this house out. And then COVID came, and it was perfect. It all worked out the way it was supposed to.
That's funny. Life is like that, right?
You
think it's falling apart until it all comes right together.
And you just have to stay on the ride, because eventually it gets good again. And there's a reason for everything. So it all worked out perfect. And
so you get to work from home, I suppose, huh? Do you?
Yeah, when I work on Shrek, I go to DreamWorks usually, or Margarita Mix. It depends. If I'm working on the Shrek movie, I go to DreamWorks, which is so amazing to be there. And the people I'm working with are incredible. And Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, amazing. Yeah. So what did you, when you started doing voice work, did you just say like, this is what I want to do? Like, this is for me?
Yeah. Cause I'm shy. I pick myself apart when I see myself. I hate looking at myself. I'd rather just do voiceover. So I started in voiceover at 11, but I did tons of commercials in Texas, and I moved here, kind of stopped doing it. And then I was with a commercial agency, ESD, and they said, hey, do you want to do voiceover? And there was the assistant that said, you sound like Cameron Diaz. They want to double for her. And I'm like, I didn't know what that was. And I said, I can't sound like her. And I loved her. I wished I sounded like her. And I got it. And then I auditioned again for it was a video game, and I got it. And then I auditioned for a ride, and I got it. And then it was Cameron Diaz that said, she sounds like me. She can act. She has a great resume. So I want her full time. So they signed me under contract, and that's been 20 something years of it.
Holy, that's amazing.
Yeah, I do all the games, dolls, toys, rides, the singing records, and then the pre-vocals from the movie. So they have the script ready, they bring me in and all the other sound alikes, and we record it, and then the animators listen to it, and the writers rewrite it listening to us, and then they bring us in again, and then at the end, Cameron Diaz comes in, and Eddie Murphy, and all those guys, and they do the final. They're there for like an hour. And so
it's amazing. It's the best job. It's the best job in the world.
It is the best job, and it's so fun. I would do it for free. I would pay to do it, actually. I love it so much. And it's fun copying.
It's what?
It's fun to copy voices.
So. Yeah, see, I have no talent like that whatsoever. I can't do accents. I can't copy people. I can only just do like whatever comes out of this face.
But you're a great actress, and you've got that. I mean, everyone has their thing.
But I wish I could do.
You might be able to. You just don't know it, because I didn't think I could. So
interesting.
I could teach you.
Interesting. Yeah, because I always thought I hated. See, I used to do some voice work when I was a kid, and I loved it. And then you know what I hate? You know what made me hate it was Baywatch, having to do looping.
Looping is hard.
Yeah. And it was already like bad acting, and then you had to go in and redo all the bad acting. It was like torture.
Yeah,
It was torture.
it's torture. You know who's really great at looping is Jenny Lewis.
Yeah.
Oh man, she is the best looper in the world. She can watch herself one time and copy it like a whole paragraph.
I can do that too. That's
You
why I
can?
like,
Okay.
yes, I'm really good at that. Like, and I don't want to hear myself. I just want to hear myself do it that one time and then take my voice out and I'll match it.
That's talent. That's hard.
Yeah, I know. And I would love to do more voice work. I just don't know. I don't know where it begins. I don't even know how you do
If
it.
you ever want to do it, I'll get you in it. I
Okay.
even cast sometimes. I cast one of the jobs I was doing, and it's a huge job. So it's, yeah. Let me know. I'll take care.
I am taking you up on that. No,
I'm serious.
no.
I'm so serious. I will help you. I help everybody. I got these two little girls into it, and now one's starring on a Disney show, and she has a show for DreamWorks voiceover and Nickelodeon. A regular. They're making millions. These two little children.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's such a good time. So what is Shrek is a TV series? Is this
the movie?
It's just okay.
All the different Shrek
different
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah. 5.
It's crazy.
That's so fun. And so you do her singing too, huh?
I do now. At the beginning, it was Renee Sands, and then I took over for that. It's yep.
Oh, so she really has the easiest job.
She does.
You know who has the easiest job is Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. Yeah, and she's so cool. I mean, if I had to choose any voice, it would be hers or Drew Barrymore. I've done her too. That was like they're two of the nicest people and so talented, and their voices are fun to do. So
I can hear it. When you're talking, can't you, Dave? Like
100%.
Yeah, she's more like Drew Barrymore's like we're going to Mexico, but I'm a Chihuahua. It's like right in the front. Like daisies, thank you. It's all like here, and then for Cameron, she's just like kind of like more princessy. And it depends on what, like if you watch Annie or The Other Woman, which I worked on those as well. I was looping for her all of her movies as well, when she was busy. But her voice changes. But the Shrek stuff is more she's very regal and princessy, and it's a fun thing to switch up.
That was crazy.
That was crazy. And Kate Bosworth, that was a hard one because she's such an amazing, incredible actress, and to redo her voice was the scariest one for me because I have so much respect for her as well.
What did you do her voice? What project was it?
While We Were Here or While We Were There, it was another George Lucas or LucasArts. So I work a lot for LucasArts for some reason, which I grew up loving George Lucas. So. And maybe I manifested it. I don't know. But
so what were they like? Listen, she her voice isn't cutting it in this. We need it all redone. Like, what happens there?
She didn't want to come back from, I think it was Paris. She was on her honeymoon, I think, or something. She was in Paris or France, and they had to get it done right away. So, and like for Drew Barrymore for Beverly Hills Chihuahua, she was shooting something with Jimmy Fallon and couldn't make it back. So mine was just going to be the scratch vocals for Beverly Hills Chihuahua, but they liked it, so they kept it. They kept it in the movie, and she didn't have to redo it. So,
wow.
Some just won't show up to like Brittany Murphy wouldn't show up for her looping, and so I knew her so well that I knew her voice really well, and that was a fun one to do.
Was she just like, fuck it? No, I can't be bothered. I gave it to you once. I did it on camera. I'm done.
I don't know, because she was the nicest girl ever, and I could not see her not just showing up. I mean, she was so accommodating. So I don't know what happened with that, but it was nice to get to do that because we were really close. So she was glad I got to do it rather than someone she didn't know.
Yeah, because that could be weird too, right? Like, can they tell when they're watching it back? Can they tell which is you and which is them?
I know some can't. I did one for Haley Steinfeld, and they couldn't tell the difference. That was pretty cool because I like when I can get it in, like right in the pocket. But I was doing the Suzanne Summers story on camera, and I played Suzanne Summers, and there was a girl that redid this amazing crying scene. I was so proud of this crying scene because the director was so good and he got me in it. And then I watched the show and the movie, and I could tell someone else did it, and it ruined the scene. I was so devastated. So that's why when I became a looper for people, my goal was to make the scene even better, or if possible, equal or better. So
Yeah, because I was hired one time to do the actress shot the film and then they had me redo like almost all of her dialogue. I was like,
really,
I was like, this is horrible. I feel, like this girl is gonna watch this and it's gonna be my voice. Yeah, so I always wondered, like, if are they insulted? Are they, happy? Like, how does this, I think in that instance, she had a thick accent possibly or something. I can't
Got it.
remember exactly, but
They
they
did.
needed.
Yeah. Well, for this event's summer story, it was just they were, when the ADR goes in, sometimes there's a line that isn't clear enough or something like that, or there's a background noise. So that's what happened on that one line during the middle of the crying scene, and it just went from this. It ruined the energy, the flow. But you can tell when she came on. And her mom, she's a great looper too, but she just doesn't sound like me. So that was kind of the problem, I think.
Oh my gosh.
I was
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's funny. You can tell when you're watching a show. It always throws you off when you're hearing somebody talk and then you can hear the next line. You hear it a lot in like reality TV and like
Oh yeah, totally.
like hosting, like and they throw the ADR lines in there and you're like, wait a minute, that does not sound the same. That just took me totally out of the mood.
Yeah, or they change
Yeah.
a swear word to something else and you're just like, oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, what was
I
that?
agree.
I
But
love that so much. So now that you're out in Ojai, did you like make friends? I mean, because I'm always tempted to leave Los Angeles, but I'm like,
yeah.
single mom, it's a little bit like even your intent when you first bought the place was to be with your partner, right? And it was like, you're going to do this together. So I'm always like chicken. I'm too chicken to pull the trigger.
I agree, because I was thinking about moving to New York. I love New York City with my sister. Or I do get scared, but everyone moved out here. My neighbors are John Bernthal, Juliette Lewis, Reese Witherspoon moved away, but Anthony Hopkins, we have the head of Sony, head of Touchstone. We have my little neighborhood. You can make a movie if you wanted to, like a big movie, because everyone's here. They all moved here during COVID. It's you go on a walk and like I know everybody now because you go on a walk here or you go to the Ojai Valley Inn and you've got Dave Calais, and it's amazing out here. It's become like the little LA here, which I was trying to escape, but it's all here now. So
I don't think I've really visited there before.
come on out. I've got a guest house. Come stay. I'm serious. Like, come on
Yeah.
out.
Because it seems like one of those places everybody went during COVID, but then fell in love with and didn't leave.
Yeah. It's pretty spectacular here. It's clean air. It's so nice. People will leave oranges on everyone's mailboxes because we all have orchards. So people get bags and they actually bag them up and put them for Christmas, like on everyone's mailbox. You come out with a giant bag of oranges for you and avocados. My gardener brings me avocados because everybody has trees and we all just share. So
I really love that.
it's pretty amazing here. It's a little boring, but I'm over the whole party scene, and
Yeah.
I don't do all that, so I like it.
I was like, I'm the queen of boring. I am so down with boring.
I like peace.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
So no more on camera for you. You're just this is it, or would you be open to it?
I would so be open to it. I just did something for William McNamara, The Trouble with Billy. I just did part of his TV series, which was really fun. And I realized, oh my God, I kind of miss it. And I'm actually going to start hopefully teaching for Ken Calais, Colby Calais's dad. He worked with Fleetwood Mac, and he's doing these classes. And he said, do you want to come in and teach kids acting classes, which I would love to do. I used to teach for Melissa Scoff over at Warner Brothers Casting, just kids. I would teach for free. I love teaching, and all the kids would work because, I started as a kid, so I know what it's like, and I know their passion. But yeah, I would go back to on camera when I'm feeling better. I just had surgery, so I want to get back up working again, and my health wise. And then, yeah, I would if I get asked. If it's the right project, I would totally do it.
Yeah, until you're like having to go through hair and makeup every day, and then you're like, wait a minute, I really like the gig in the studio.
I love being on set. I love that family feeling.
Yeah.
You know, that when you go every day and you just love everybody. And that's another thing I was thinking about psychologically growing up as a kid actor. You're taught to get along with everybody. Like starting as a kid, you learn you respect everyone from craft service to the producers and all the crew. Like you learn to get along with every aspect of life as it should be in the world. And
Yeah.
I was teaching that in the class I taught for kids to the parents. Like you, as a kid, you walk in and you're nice to everyone. You're nice to the assistant. You be nice to all the other girls in the room. You just never know. But just be a good person to everyone, no matter what they do. So, you know, you and I learned that growing up. You just be a good person to everyone.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's very, very true. Because I know some assistants that are now running studios, you know, from
Exactly.
back in the day. Yeah. And it's not that you want to be nice to them just because you don't know who they're going to
Exactly.
be,
No.
but it's because everybody's in this creative together and everybody has like a passion for it. And it doesn't matter like which level you're at. It's, you know, we all share this
Yeah.
passion for this. Yeah.
You're all in this crazy business together. You might as well enjoy it together. And yeah, I 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I just, you know, I just love it when it's like I can get back together with people who we just know the quirk of growing up here, and it's just
and
growing-
Corey and all that. Like we
Yeah.
know what it's like to, you know, all those wonderful people that we grew up with and we miss.
Such a special time.
Yes.
Such a special time, and we are so fortunate, and we get to share that. And I just, yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, gorgeous. I'm gonna be stalking you.
Okay, please show up. I'll leave the door open at the guest house for you. It's all yours. Come on up.
All right, I'm packing a bag.
Okay. Bring friends.
Oh, I love it. No, definitely keep in touch. And just gorgeous. Just always gorgeous. Always.
You guys are. My God. Oh, and Kelly Packard was on. I love Kelly Packard, by the way.
Yes, great,
you
right?
look so much. Yeah, we were roommates when we were kids. You guys do look so much alike.
So much alike, right?
I just love her. Yeah, both of you guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Make
it was
that
her.
happen.
Do you remember Amy Dolan's?
I love Amy Dolan's. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I don't see the Amy Dolan's though.
No, because when
and
we
you
were
got-
younger, people would always mix the two of us up.
She's also gorgeous. Yeah, but I see Kelly for sure in you.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah. All right. All right. Enjoy your day, you guys.
Yes, you too.
Take care.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
That was crazy with the voices, by the way.
I know she's so good.
Oh my gosh. I would play with that nonstop if I had that skill. Like I'd be going through drive-throughs, just ordering as Drew Barrymore.
Me
just
too.
changing it up all the time.
I'd be making phone calls all day. I would be
right.
messing with people on the phone all day long. Yes.
Yeah. No kidding. I'd just be pranking people nonstop.
It
You're
was
right.
so organically good. It wasn't
Yeah.
like you know how some people do imitations and you can tell it's like an imitation of blah blah blah. She like legit just sounded like
Oh, my mind was blown. I was
Yeah.
as soon as she did it, I went, oh my God. That was insane. That was insane.
super cool. Yeah.
You know,
that's
we
a
were
talent.
talking about TikTok last week with Perez Hilton, and she could have a crazy TikTok channel just calling people with different voices.
Oh yeah.
and
I wonder if
not-
she does.
yeah, and not knowing, you know, of just playing the game. Oh my
That's
God.
so funny. Yes.
Boy, she could take catfishing to a whole nother level.
Yep.
That was cool though. I enjoyed that a lot. That was cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
What a fun life. Have you spent time in Ojai?
No, I never have. No,
No,
she
me
made it
neither.
sound
I don't know
great, though.
why.
Now
Yeah.
all of a sudden it sounds like my next trip.
Well, I always had friends that would go out there all the time, like growing up. And I knew guys that used to go like rock climbing out there and stuff like that. And people would always talk about Ojai. And I don't know. It's just one of those places I don't think I've ever made it to.
No, it's funny as you said, you know, you said you're, you know, you're the queen of boring, that kind of deal. But
Yeah.
like last night I was out driving around and it was late at night because I had to be somewhere and I'm driving back And I was thinking, I don't remember the last time like I've driven at night this late. Like it was kind of strange. But
Yeah.
my kid said something to me about a year ago that has been in my head. Like he goes, you ever wonder when it's after 11:30, 12 o'clock at night and you're driving and you look at the cars around you and you're going, how many people around me aren't drunk right now? And I'm like, what? He goes, think about it. He goes, everyone just came from somewhere. and,
Oh my
and
gosh.
and it completely has messed with my head of going, is that guy sober? Is that guy sober? And then I never thought about it once in my life until he said that, especially on a Friday or Saturday night. How many people just came from a party or came from a bar? And how many have drank a little bit too much where they jumped in the car? And then now I'm so paranoid looking around going, who's sober? It's kind of crazy.
Well, I'll tell you, I felt like that driving home on Thanksgiving. I was so
Yeah.
scared on the freeway. I was
Yeah.
like, I thought something was wrong with everybody. Yeah. Yeah, so I can relate to that. But no, on a normal night, first of all, I'm not out driving around at 11:30.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
definitely in
usually not
bed.
either.
I'm
Yeah. I'm
definitely
usually
in
not
bed.
either.
But people are working. People do work.
Well, yeah. That's well, you're hoping. I don't know. It's funny. I never once thought about it in my life, but it was fun to drive around in people who follow the show who aren't in California. And I know there's bad traffic in other parts of the country, but it almost feels like very strange, right? When you get in your car and there's no traffic, like you're breezing through.
Yeah.
And that was like yesterday. And I was like, man, this isn't bad at all. Like, this is why California is the dream, but it's not like this, 99% of the time. You're going to hit traffic somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes. But yeah, it was
It is. You
strange
have
to
to
just
know.
do a 30-minute drive with no interruptions yesterday. It was very strange.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely have to know what hours to drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly right. All right. So I didn't get a chance to ask you last week, but are you catching up on any of these shows that we talk about all the time?
Yes. Okay. Last night I watched Beverly Hills and I watched New York.
Okay.
New York was still
God
dull
dang
and
it.
boring as hell.
What the hell?
And if
Yeah.
they say leaky pigeon one more time, I'm
Yeah.
going to like
I'm with you. I'm with
lose
you.
it. Yeah, I can't. But the Beverly Hills, on the other hand, Dorit is like on fire.
Boy, did she
Speaking up
come
for
in like
herself.
saying, yeah, this is going to be me basically put my feet in the ground the entire season.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I think she's had it. She had it put, she was putting up with her husband and covering that and then trying to always, be nice with Kyle, make nice. And she's had it. And I'm loving it.
Are
I'm
you loving
here
it?
for it. Yeah.
Oh my God. It almost makes, and I mean, this is why we watch the shows, for things to be uncomfortable. But it's like, Kyle, you're in a fight that you weren't even ready for. It's like, and Kyle thought she could defend herself. But when Kyle said to her, hey, you have 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason, you're going to listen. She goes, no, Kyle, you're going to listen. And I was like, ooh, this is never going to stop the entire season. She is going to go after Kyle, I think, the entire season.
Yeah, she's had it. And I think, for Kyle, I'm a little bit worried about Kyle living in a bit of a bubble with her husband in the divorce. I think when Sutton is the voice of reason,
yeah,
it's, it's a little,
you're right.
That's frightening.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I think Kyle is not that that Mauricio doesn't love her. I'm sure he does, but no guy wants to part with their money. No person really wants to part with their money. And, he's playing so nice with her, but he's setting himself up for success for sure.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is.
With a big smile on his face, and she's falling right into it. So it's a little bit, listen, even if all she got was the house, she's going to be fine.
Yeah, no, there's
she's
a lot of
gonna
money
be
there.
fine. But
Yeah.
she thinks that she's got, ownership in this company, his real estate company. I don't think so, honey. Yeah, she needs to wake up pretty quickly here and stop shopping and going to the gym and focus.
There's it's fun to watch. I mean, I'm glad it's back. I'm glad it's back. Compared to New York, it makes it the greatest show in the history of TV. New York is so boring and nothing ever happens in New York. I think it frustrates me even more, Nicole, is that when people are celebrities, they kind of did something to earn being a celebrity. These girls in New York have done nothing to earn being a celebrity. and yet they all believe they're, the queen of the castle, and there's nothing there. Like, I almost just want to see Andy cut ties with the whole show and bring them all back to real reality, which is you guys couldn't hack it. You weren't entertaining.
They weren't, because I think they're successful, beautiful women, and so they're already secure in their place. And it's just they were ahead of the game, and they're just too calculated, and they're trying to manipulate it too much that it's just falling flat. Like trying to do the party that they had, the dress up party, the ballroom, like Paris is Burning party. So many of them missed the mark that it made it cringy. And then like Aaron not knowing who Grace Jones was, like, I just, it's just, it's so cringy on so many levels. Yeah. And it's, I'm sure they're going to do something. They've got to think of rebooting that show. Although I love Uba.
Do you really?
I do, because I want her skin. I want her height. I want her smile.
She's the one that started that whole pigeon thing, though.
Yeah, but she didn't mean to. She just was calling them pigeons, and it was supposed to be a quick insult, and it's turned into this whole thing. But maybe I just like looking at Uba. I think like in the beginning, like the intros, hers is my favorite. Like my jaw drops every time I look at it. I'm like, she is a gorgeous one. But yeah, it's terrible. Did you see that they have, we talked about this. They've recast Vanderpump, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I am curious to see about that one.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so there's a lot coming out that I'm excited about. I'm also watching the 90 Days. If anybody's watching that, they have the resort, Last Resort just started, where the couples go away to work on the marriages. I just love it. I love TLC. It's just, it's one of my faves. I'm getting sick of, because I think that maybe it's New York that's doing it to me, but I'm getting sick of the yelling and the bickering over absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
And it's at least with like Beverly Hills, Dorit is like, she's coming out. She's showing us who's in there. I knew there was always fire in there because she has such good style. Like, that doesn't just come from somebody who is complacent as she always pretended to be. Everything was always hunky-dory with Dorit, and she always, smoothed everything over and always played nice. And I think we're getting to see that character. So I'm into that. Those are like legit fights, but the making it up for the cameras, I'm getting sick of it. So my attention has been at TLC.
That's a great call on Dorit, because I remember when Dorit first started, I had to look her up to go, what is her story? Because remember, she would talk sometimes with an accent, and sometimes she didn't have an accent, and then her hair was so different all the time when she first started. I couldn't even tell if I was looking at the same person. It was hard for me to even follow. And you're right, she's more realistic now. But I literally had to do a deep dive into figuring out what is her background that I'm so thrown off right now. And then what you're seeing, I think, is the real person.
It's the real person. And I think how she got involved with the show is because of her husband.
Yeah.
And, he's Boy George's manager. And what I've heard is that he convinced her and talked her into doing the show. So I think she was kind of thrown in there, and then she's got to make PK look good. And she's trying to keep it nice with Kyle. And so it's been this facade.
Yeah.
And now we get to meet her.
So your opinion, what do you think? Which marriages break up and which ones get back together between the two, between Kyle and Dorit?
I feel like I don't think that I think like in Mauricio and Kyle's situation, Mauricio's moved on. He's gone. Yeah. He's gone. And I think when you're gone from a relationship, it's really hard to come back. And I think he's gone. And with Dorit and PK, I think she's gone.
Yeah.
I think she's feeling her freedom. And I think PK's kind of gone too. He's kind of done. He seems like, but I don't know. He could, crumble any moment because he's obviously battling demons. But I feel like in those two cases, when you see somebody so clearly flying free and happy, they just have a glow about them. I don't think there's any turning back. Listen, I'm no relationship expert. obviously. But I just see them both. They just look like they're thriving, and those are moments,
Yeah. Mauricio, I hate to say, Mauricio, I think is going to be one of those guys you're going to see for years with the new 23, 24-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah,
Like he has a ton of dough. He's never been in this situation. He has a lot of power in Los Angeles. And I think he's going to be one of those guys. You're going to see him over and over again with the new girl.
yeah,
Kind of, the old joke with Leonardo DiCaprio that he never dates a girl over the age of 25.
yes,
It's, I can see Mauricio is just going to sit there and say, I've never lived this life. And for PK, it was interesting when they were talking the way how he thought he, justified her career, made her career. But, if you didn't know either one of them and they walked into a restaurant, you'd say, how the hell did that guy get that girl? Like, she's
yeah,
that much more attractive than he is.
yeah,
But for what he thinks, his power is and what she put into him and now realizing she can probably stand on her own, I don't think either one of them are getting back. Yeah.
no, I don't think so either. And yeah, I think you're right with Mauricio Mo. He's going to live his life because he's been married for
Yeah.
so long and married so young and was such a family guy for so long that now he just, yeah,
Yep.
I would be surprised if he ever got married again.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, again, not a bad looking guy that has hundreds of millions of dollars and all
No,
of a
he's a
sudden,
great looking guy and
yeah.
he's looking particularly great, which is,
Yeah. Not a good sign for Kyle.
no, not a good sign for Kyle. She looks like she's about to have a meltdown. I mean, she's gorgeous. But behind the eyes, I feel worried for her.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get to your mailbag?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get to the mailbag. Again, it's perfectlytwistedpod.com. You can go right on and ask Nicole questions. It's very simple. All you have to do is go at the top of the page. You see mailbag, submit your questions, and we'll get them on there. These 5 questions, all from Stacy. Okay. You ready, Nicole?
I'm ready. Let's go,
Okay.
Stacy.
What's the worst part about dating?
Well, I haven't dated. I haven't been on a date in a very long time. I don't know what it is. And it's gotta be me. It's gotta be something about me because there's no reason why I shouldn't have been asked on a date in the
It's
last
intimidation.
50 years.
It's intimidation.
Is it? I don't know. So for me, dating, I think the hardest part is just that it's so awkward at first. And for me, like what's always going through my head, it's like I wish I could go into it a little smoother, like you're just two people getting to know each other. But I always go into it like are these two people that are thinking about getting married? Are these two people that are thinking about spending the rest of their life together? Are these two people thinking about having sex later? Like I go straight to it instead of like dipping the toe and I jump right in the deep end of like those thoughts and it ruins it. It really ruins it. So the next time I do go on a date or I meet anybody interesting at all, I'm definitely going to put those thoughts out of my head of like any kind of future things. It's not like I go into it and I'm like, "Oh, we're going to get married. We're going to do this." I don't mean to sound like that. I just immediately go to the extremes. I don't know. I take it to the extreme. Like, could you see yourself married to this person? Because if you can't,
Yeah.
why are you sitting here?
I'm with you on that, by the way. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if you're just going to go out to have a good time, then that's a friend.
Yeah.
Then that's a friend. But if you're dating, then the goal is to eventually find the right person. That's just my opinion, to find the right person. But for you, I understand why you would have a tough time because it's hard to get by you. When people look at you, they're thinking your resume. Not Nicole, the person before the resume comes up first. And I think anyone's mind that it is tough. Almost like you have to set parameters to say, hey, I'm going on this date, but we aren't talking about Charles in Charge and we aren't talking about Baywatch. We aren't, this is getting to know each other as people. When it got to be on level ground, you don't know that other person's resume, but assuming they aren't in the business, but it's getting to know Nicole. Nicole that we see in the square isn't the Nicole that we saw on TV. You're a person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I just wish I could do more like casual dating and like
Yeah.
I wish I could just go out with people to have a good time, but nobody asks me.
tell you, they're intimidated.
Nobody asks on dates.
My former brother-in-law, he dates a lot now, and he says, man, there are a lot of times within the first 3-4 minutes of a date, he goes, I just say it's not going to work, and I walk out, and I go, what? And he goes, dude, you just know. Why do I want to spend 3 hours trying to get through it when I know in the first few minutes, man, this was a big mistake? And he just ends
It's
it.
so funny. I wish I could not be like that, and I wish I could just get to know people. Then maybe you make a really great friend out of it. Because what's wrong with that either?
There isn't.
You know what I mean? There's
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. But no, the people that ask me out are usually in my DMs on social media, and it's like, and I'm like, are you what? No,
Yes. Yeah.
it's going to be a hard pass. So yeah, listen, if there's any like actual eligible bachelors out there, don't be afraid of me. I don't bite. I definitely don't bite.
Yeah. The thing is, you want them to date Nicole, not a character. Like, can you imagine if Holly went on a date and someone said, but you have to talk to me as Drew Barrymore the whole night? It'd be like, what? Yeah. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be cool at all.
No,
that's not great.
Certainly
oh my
wouldn't.
gosh. All right. Next question on here. Nicole, do you watch documentaries, and which ones are your favorites?
Well, yes, I watch documentaries. That's why I produced on the documentary. I love all documentaries. I really do. I haven't watched any lately. But I watched one. The last one I watched was The Perfect Couple. I don't know if you guys have seen that out there. Whoa, what a trip. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't watched it, watch it. Is it The Perfect Couple, or is that the Nicole Kidman? Wait, hold on. Let me
Yeah, look that one up. I think you're right on this one. Is this on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's about a woman who gets kidnapped. And I can't say any more than that because it completely you have to watch it to see the way it unfolds. It's absolutely wild. Oh no, The Perfect Couple is the Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
Shoot. But this is something like that. Oh, I hate when I do this. It's really frustrating.
I wish I could help you out.
I bring something up, and so yeah. Anyways, it's about a woman who gets kidnapped, and what unfolds after that is just crazy, and it's real, and you couldn't write this shit, and I love it. So yeah, I love documentaries. They're the best because they're real. I mean, it's real stuff that you cannot make this stuff up. So
exactly.
Yeah, huge documentary fan.
There you go. Okay. Next question on there, and I know the answer to this one, I think. What's the most physically taxing job you've ever had?
Oh, I would have to say when I did that show Splash for ABC.
Oh, wow.
Professional high diving show.
No, I thought you were going to just say Baywatch. I didn't think, but Splash, huh?
Oh no, Splash. I mean, it was a black eye and a bloody nose every day. It was painful. It was scary. It was all of those things. And so, yeah, I had to push myself both physically and mentally. And it was wild. Another tough one I did was the Real Gilligan's Island, where I was out stranded in the jungle in Mexico. And we had to do it was like a Survivor type show.
Yeah.
So we didn't have food, and we had to do challenges to get rewards, and it was wild. And again, if you didn't hear me, we were in the jungle in Mexico with like snakes and panthers and crazy stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, it was horrifying. It was horrifying. Yeah.
How long were you doing this?
I was out there a few weeks which doesn't seem like a lot, but it was plenty.
No, it seems like a lot. One day seems like a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. The noises you hear, and it was a lot.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, here. This one's interesting to me. Nicole, what's your favorite and least favorite soda?
I don't drink soda.
At all?
Not at all. I've never had like my own soda. I've never ordered.
Never like a Diet Coke or Dr. Pepper?
No. Oh God. I don't even get it. I cannot understand how people like sit there and drink it.
I love it.
Oh, I hate it.
I don't buy it because it will disappear. It's not good for you. But it's one of those too. I always say the worst soda is, and you'll remember this from being a little kid. Do you remember Tab?
Yes.
Oh my
I don't
God,
know
was
what
that
it tastes
brutal?
like though.
Oh,
I have.
it's awful.
Oh, is it?
If it was any
No.
good, it'd still be around. It was terrible.
It's true because it's a cool looking can with a cool
Yeah,
logo.
yeah, it was. You're right.
Yeah, no, I absolutely do not drink soda. Neither do my kids.
Smart.
No,
My son doesn't drink soda either. Hasn't had soda in at least 20 years. Yeah,
no, it
same.
tastes like a mouthful of like sugar chemicals. And
That's
no,
what makes it great sometimes with the right. I know you aren't an ice person, but with the right ice, there's nothing
ugh,
like that. Dr. Pepper.
no, and I don't enjoy carbonation. I only like
Yeah.
carbonation in like a champagne or a prosecco or a
Yeah.
beer.
Okay.
And then for some reason I'm fine with carbonation, but I don't like carbonated water. I don't like soda. No, I
Yeah.
don't want carbonated lemonade. No, not for me.
Not for you. Okay.
No.
Nicole, inside the house, do you wear shoes, socks, or go barefoot?
Barefoot all the time. I mean, I will actually leave and sometimes go, shit, I forgot my shoes.
Really? You'll walk right out the front door?
Hmm. I will.
Wow.
So I started putting a pair of slides by the door so that I don't forget, and also to help protect my feet because my feet. Yeah, if I could be barefoot all the time, I would. It's the first thing we do when we get home is we kick our shoes off.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
And with socks, I have a weird thing. Like I really don't love socks on my feet because I'm a little bit claustrophobic. So yeah, those immediately get ripped off.
Yeah, I'll go with the parts of my house have carpets, most parts don't, but I will go with socks on the carpet because I'm always worried about the oils on your feet, and I just don't want to dirty up the carpet. And
Okay.
then, but I won't sleep in socks. I'm like you. I'm very claustrophobic. I just like that feeling of nothing touching my skin. Like as soon as I walk in, I take my watch off, take my ring off. I don't like anything touching my skin. It's kind of crazy that way. But the bare feet thing I would do all the time if I wasn't so freaked out about getting the carpets dirty.
That's hysterical. Well, I always have all hardwood floors. So
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. Like I don't, when my kid is running around and spinning and sliding on the floor, I'm like, you're mopping the floor with your socks. And I hate dingy white socks. And
Yes.
and when you put one dirty pair in there, it makes them all dirty. And then I'm constantly buying socks. And like, yeah,
Yes.
it's
I'm buying a
yes.
lot of socks. I do
Yeah, I
buy a
don't
lot
like
of
dirty
socks.
socks. Dirty socks freak me out. So
Yeah,
I take them. Yeah, they immediately come off.
that is so funny.
Yeah.
All right, Stacey, appreciate the questions. That was awesome right there. Again, Nicole's mailbag, perfectlytwistedpod.com. Go to the top of the screen and get your questions in, and we'll get them out on the show. So that was cool. That was a lot of
Thanks
fun
for
today.
joining us.
Holly blew my mind.
Yeah,
That
it's great.
voice thing threw me off. That was
So
cool.
talented. So next time when you're watching your favorite actors and actresses, you just think it might not be their voice all the time.
Yes, no
Yeah,
kidding.
pretty
Oh
amazing.
man, that was crazy. That was crazy. Good luck today. I know you got a busy day.
Thanks. Yes, and thanks for joining us. And we will see you next week.